Hello everyone. We on the Tank Encyclopedia team love to share what we discover about tanks and armored fighting vehicles with you, our readers and viewers. We also like answering questions that we receive on our website, on Discord, or here on YouTube. However, sometimes we get some questions that deserve special attention. The nice folks developing the game Arms Trade Tycoon Tanks have again asked for our help and have sent us a number of questions to help make their game more historically accurate, and we have decided to answer them publicly in a series of YouTube videos. Arms Trade Tycoon Tanks is a game that is still early in development and that aims to give its players the chance of running a successful tank building company, from doing technical research to designing and building tanks and then trying to sell them at home or abroad. And of course, learning from what happens to them on the field of battle. Here is their set of questions. The creation of a tank in-game is built around major and minor tank parts that are assembled together in what we call engineering and design processes. As we are early in the dev phase, we still have the possibility to alter various aspects of the game mechanics. Therefore, we would like to have your expert opinion if our current classification in components and modifications is realistic, applicable for the various time periods, and applicable for most of the tanks. If not, we would be happy to hear your feedback. These are the major parts that define the main features of a tank. Currently, we plan to have the following categories: structure components, hull and turret including World War I sponsons and some superstructures, firepower components, main gun and machine guns, mobility components, engine, transmission with elements of powertrain, running gear, mover, and suspension. The following process is currently employed. The central piece in the assembly is the hull. The hull defines what kind of turret, engine, and running gear can be used via the compatibility graph. The hull and turret defines what kind of main gun and machine gun can be used. The engine defines what kind of transmission can be used, and the running gear defines what kind of suspension can be used. Other limitations would also apply, such as total vehicle weight, material, and man-hour costs. What is your view on the decoupling of suspension from running gear, given that running gear defines compatibility of suspension to be used? Well, generally in tank design, it goes the other way around. The suspension is considered the main tank component and is generally decided upon first, after which the more minor details of the running gear, such as the tracks, dry sprocket, idler, road wheels, and return rollers, are decided upon. Another way to look at this is to see what can be changed with minimal interference with other components. For many tanks, the road wheels could be changed without affecting anything else, such as the Tiger having road wheels with or without rubber rims, or the T-60 having two different types of road wheels. Also, the T-34 could work very fine with Panther road wheels. Similarly, the Tiger II had 4 different types of drive sprockets, as was recently discussed in a Swedish Koningstiger article. Similarly, idlers, return rollers, or tracks could be changed and improved without affecting other parts, especially the suspension. However, in the few cases where the tank changed its suspension during production, such as with the Sherman changing from the VVSS to the HVSS, everything had to be changed. Same with the proposal to change the Sherman M4A4 to a Christie-like suspension, where everything had to be changed to accommodate the new suspension type. So, in our opinion, if you want to decouple them, it should be the other way around, with the suspension determining the running gear to be used. However, please do note that in most cases, the running gear was not a unitary system, and that parts of it could be changed easily without this affecting other sections. Having the running gear as a separate whole section is typical of World War I tanks, but this quickly fell out of favor. Since Arms Trade Tycoon Tanks plans to go up to the modern era it is our opinion that you should probably go for a single coupled category, with the tracks, idler, and drive sprocket as minor components. Another question is if it would make sense to decompose the main gun in two separate components, barrel and gun mount. Please note that we found it quite difficult to find enough data to shape two separate research trees. Well, from a real-world development point of view, it makes perfect sense to have them separate, as the same gun could receive different gun mounts for different vehicles, such as the case for the German long-barreled 88 Pak 43 gun, which had no fewer than 5 variants: the Pak 43/1 on the Nashorn, the Pak 43-2 on the Ferdinand, the Pak 43-3 and 4 on the Jagdpanther, and the KWK 43 on the King Tiger. These vary both in the gun mount and in the gun barrel, which could be monoblock or two-part depending on the version. However, we do feel that splitting these two categories would not only severely complicate your research, but would also make it far more complicated for most of your players to figure out how this works, and thus could decrease the appeal of the game. Finally, are there any other possible decompositions that we might have missed, say with respect to the hull, turret, or machine guns? Each of the major components you have identified can be further split down to the smallest bolt in each assembly. However, we feel that any further decomposition would be counterproductive, and you have a very good selection currently, both from a gameplay point of view and from a historical accuracy point of view. Well, that was it. We hope these answers and accompanying photos will help the Arms Trade Tycoon team with their game, and hope you have enjoyed watching. If you like the idea of the game, you can find a link to their website in the description below. If we missed anything, please feel free to comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us get our videos out to more people. Until next time, keep us in your sights.